A Life Cut Short. The story of Nevaeh Crain. Nevaeh Crain was young, full of life. She had dreams, aspirations, and a future that seemed boundless. Her smile could light up a room, and her laughter was infectious. She was surrounded by friends who loved her, and a community that cherished her presence. At 18, she carried the promise of a future unwritten. She was also pregnant. This new chapter in her life was supposed to be filled with hope and excitement. The anticipation of bringing a new life into the world brought her immense joy. She looked forward to the future with a mix of nervousness and happiness. A time that should be filled with joy and anticipation was instead marked by tragedy. The excitement quickly turned into a nightmare as complications arose. Nevaeh found herself in a situation that no young woman should ever have to face. The fear and uncertainty were overwhelming. Nevaeh sought help at 2 different emergency rooms. Her body racked with pain. She was sent home. Despite her pleas and the obvious signs of distress, the medical system failed her. The pain was unbearable, and the lack of proper care was evident. She was left to suffer without the necessary medical intervention. Hours later, she was dead. The loss was sudden and devastating. Her family and friends were left in shock, grappling with the reality of her untimely death. The empty hospital bed was a stark reminder of the life that was lost too soon. Nevaeh's story is not unique. Many women face similar fates due to systemic failures and restrictive laws. The pain and suffering experienced by Nevaeh are shared by countless others who find themselves in desperate situations. It is a stark and heartbreaking example of the human cost of Texas's restrictive abortion ban. The law, known as SB 8, has created an environment of fear and confusion. Women are left without the necessary support and care, and the consequences are dire. A law, known as SB 8, that has sown fear and confusion in the hearts of both women and those entrusted with their care. Medical professionals are caught in a web of legal and ethical dilemmas, unsure of how to provide the best care without risking their careers. Nevaeh's case is a warning. It highlights the urgent need for change. The restrictive laws not only endanger women's lives but also undermine the trust in the healthcare system. The fear and uncertainty must be addressed. A reminder that when we restrict access to healthcare, when we allow ideology to trump compassion, real lives are lost. The consequences are real and devastating. We must prioritize the health and well-being of women over political agendas. Her story is a call to action, a demand for justice. It is a plea for a future where the lives and health of women are valued and protected. We must stand together to ensure that no more lives are lost due to negligence and restrictive laws. A plea for a future where the lives and health of women are valued and protected. Together, we can create a world where every woman has access to the care she needs, where compassion and empathy guide our actions, and where tragedies like Nevaeh's are a thing of the past. Texas SB 8, a law shrouded in fear and uncertainty. In 2021, Texas enacted Senate Bill 8, effectively banning abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. This law has been one of the most restrictive and controversial pieces of legislation in recent history. This law, unprecedented in its scope and cruelty, has plunged the state into a healthcare crisis. Women are left with limited options, and healthcare providers are overwhelmed and uncertain about how to proceed. SB 8 is not just about abortion. It is about control. Control over women's bodies. Control over their futures. It seeks to undermine the autonomy and rights of women, making them second-class citizens in their own state. This law, written in vague and sweeping language, has created a climate of fear and uncertainty. The ambiguity of the law leaves many in a state of confusion, unsure of what is legal and what is not. It has turned doctors into adversaries, forcing them to choose between their oath to do no harm and the threat of legal persecution. Medical professionals are caught in a moral and legal dilemma, unsure of how to best serve their patients. SB 8 has emboldened anti-abortion activists, deputizing them as bounty hunters and turning neighbor against neighbor. This has created a toxic environment where trust is eroded and communities are divided. It has unleashed a wave of fear and intimidation that has silenced women and driven them into the shadows. Women are afraid to seek help, to speak out, or to even discuss their options, leading to a dangerous and isolating situation. The chilling effect: how SB 8 impacts healthcare. The consequences of SB 8 have been swift and devastating. Doctors, fearing lawsuits and the loss of their livelihoods, are hesitant to provide even basic care to pregnant women. They are forced to navigate a legal minefield second-guessing their every move. Women, meanwhile, are left to navigate their pregnancies in fear and isolation. They are denied access to critical healthcare, even in life-threatening situations. The chilling effect of SB 8 is undeniable. It has created a two-tiered healthcare system, one where women are treated with suspicion and fear, their health and well-being sacrificed at the altar of political expediency. A climate of fear, doctors caught in the crosshairs. Imagine being a doctor, sworn to uphold the Hippocratic Oath, yet forced to operate under the shadow of SB 8. The pressure is immense. Every decision, every action is scrutinized, not just by peers, but by the law. The weight of this responsibility is crushing. The stakes are life and death. Every moment counts, and hesitation can mean the difference between saving a life and losing one. Doctors are trained to provide care, to offer compassion and support. They are the pillars of hope in times of despair, the ones we turn to when we are most vulnerable. SB 8 has turned them into legal strategists, forced to prioritize self-preservation over patient well-being. The fear is palpable. They must navigate a minefield of legalities, always looking over their shoulders. Doctors are hesitant to ask questions, to order tests, to provide even routine care, lest they be accused of facilitating an abortion. This hesitation can lead to misdiagnoses, delayed treatments, and ultimately, harm to the patient. This climate of fear and suspicion is eroding the very foundation of the doctor-patient relationship. Trust, once the cornerstone of medical care, is now being replaced by doubt and anxiety. It is a betrayal of trust, a violation of medical ethics. The very essence of what it means to be a doctor is under threat, and the consequences for both doctors and patients are profound and far-reaching. Section 5. Beyond abortion, SB 8's ripple effect on women's health. The impact of SB 8 extends far beyond abortion. It has created a ripple effect, impacting all aspects of women's health care. Women are delaying or forgoing essential prenatal care, fearing they will be interrogated or reported. Miscarriages, a common and often devastating experience, are now shrouded in suspicion. Women are afraid to seek help, terrified they will be accused of ending their pregnancies intentionally. The message is clear: women's bodies are not their own. Their healthcare decisions are subject to scrutiny, judgment, and control. This is not healthcare. It is state-sanctioned oppression. Section 6. Nevaeh's story. A tragic reminder of the stakes. Nevaeh Crain sought help. She went to the emergency room twice. She complained of excruciating pain, yet she was sent home, her pleas for help ignored. We may never know for sure if SB 8 played a role in Nevaeh's death, but we do know this. The law has created a climate where women's health is not a priority, where doctors are afraid to act, where lives are needlessly lost. Nevaeh's story is a tragic reminder of what is at stake. It is a wake-up call, a demand for change. How many more women must suffer before we say enough is enough? Section 7. A nation divided, the battle over reproductive rights. The fight for reproductive rights is not new. It is a battle that has raged for decades, pitting those who believe in a woman's right to choose against those who seek to control her body and her future. SB 8 is the latest salvo in this ongoing war. It is a dangerous escalation, an attempt to overturn decades of legal precedent and strip women of their fundamental rights. But we will not be silenced. We will not be intimidated. We will continue to fight for ourselves, for our daughters, and for all the women who came before us. Section 8. The urgency of now protecting women's lives. The time for complacency is over. The time for polite discourse has passed. We are in a crisis and women's lives are at stake. We need action. We need change. We need to repeal SB 8 and all laws like it. We need to ensure that every woman has access to safe and legal abortion care without fear, shame, or stigma. We need to elect leaders who trust women, who respect our bodies and our choices. We need to create a world where every woman is free to control her own destiny. Section 9. A call to action, fighting for reproductive freedom. This is not someone else's fight. This is our fight. The fight for reproductive freedom is a fight for all of us. We must speak out. We must raise our voices. We must contact our elected officials and demand change. We must support organizations fighting for reproductive justice. We must donate our time, our resources, and our energy to this critical cause. We cannot afford to be silent. The future of women's rights hangs in the balance. Section 10. A future where every woman's life is valued. I dream of a future where Nevaeh Crain's story is not a tragedy, but a catalyst for change. A future where every woman has the power to make decisions about her own body and her own life. I dream of a future where access to healthcare is a right, not a privilege, where doctors are free to provide care without fear of prosecution, where women are treated with dignity and respect. This is the future we must fight for. This is the future we deserve. A future where every woman's life is valued, protected, and cherished. Go to my channel to watch more trending news.